Mickey Talks.
I don't even know what to say. Matt, I'm holding the microphone in my hand because as we went on the air, this is the third time that it just came down, buddy. You saw it, right?
This is typical, Mick. What do you mean? This is
I don't understand
what we do.
I know, man. Good morning, by the way.
Right?
Good afternoon,
Good
by the way.
afternoon, my friend. Show number 59.
Go ahead,
Got a
man.
great guest today. We're going to get to him in a moment. Mick right now is I'm going to put the camera on you for a second.
You son of
they
a
can
bitch.
see.
You're such a dick. I swear to God. Next time you have to take a pee, I'm taking the camera and I'm following you, piece of crap.
Whoa, there we go. So this is the technical follies.
Somebody.
The technical follies we go through every day to just
Matt, will you
get the
please
show on the
explain
air.
that this was not the technical issue of why we're late?
That's a
Yeah.
blooper reel right
Yeah,
there.
actually, this right here, the thing you're watching Mick do right now is that's nothing compared to what we were dealing with about 5 minutes ago.
I'm holding my microphone today. I can't deal with this shit after what we just went through.
Yeah.
By the way, hi, everybody. Mickey Talks brought to us by Barnes Paving. Barnes Paving, BARNES paving.com. The most amazing people you'll ever do business with. So honest, so cool. MHIC insured. The Better Business Bureau absolutely loves them. And if you give them a ring at barnespaving.com, make sure you mention Mickey Talks to get 10% off. So thank you, Barnes Paving. Our guest today, I'm not going to waste time. I'm going to get him in on everything. He is a guy that I've known and Matt has known for, I hate to say this number.
Right.
I really do. 35 years.
Yeah.
Legit.
I think I met him in 1990. I think is when I originally did. You were the manager of a band back in that day, a very popular band,
Laughing Colors. Yeah.
Laughing Colors.
Was it Ugly Joe? What was it? Something Joe you managed? The college band from Towson.
The Average Joe.
The Average Joes. That was before Laughing Colors, right?
That was.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's when I met you.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, actually, no. You had worked for Starley before that, right?
There you go.
That's where I met
That
you.
was the beginning.
What year is that?
Actually, hold on.
What year?
I started working at Starley in 92.
Okay.
Before that, I worked for Maryland Musician.
There it
magazine
is. The Maryland
with
Musician.
Susie Mudd.
Well,
Everybody
Wow,
remembers that.
yeah, that's a flashback.
Dude,
remember that?
Susie.
So
Yeah.
let's give Paul a proper introduction here. He is the owner of 24/7 Entertainment. Paul has booked concerts and festivals in the Maryland area. Chances are, if you've been to a great concert or a great event in this state, the chances are you've been to something that Paul has put together. And I've watched him kind of take small bands from their tiny little club days, and they're all playing arenas now, aren't they, Paul?
Like I always say, I get them on the way up and the way down.
Yeah, well, nothing
So
wrong with that.
It's
man.
all good, though. you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
I remember a show back in the day that I saw at Fletcher's, which you were booking for.
Yep.
What years were you booking Fletcher's?
Fletcher's, I was there 2003 to about 2006.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know who I saw there? I think it was early 2000s. Was Lincoln Park
Oh, yeah. Yep.
in that 200-seat
Cra-
venue? Was that
Crazy.
your show?
Absolutely. Yeah.
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 And
Yeah.
the thing I remember about that day is they actually canceled and came back on a few times because one of them was sick or something. Do you remember that at
I
all?
don't recall that. No.
yeah.
No.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
that was the first time I ever saw Lincoln Park. Was at
Yeah.
Fletcher's?
And
show
the
you
whole
put-
Noise in the Basement.
of
That's
course.
where
yeah.
that started.
Yeah.
Remember Hailstorm coming
Oh,
down
yeah.
from Red Lion, PA
Hailstorm.
on
We
a
had,
Monday
All
night.
time low.
All
playing.
time, all of them.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a question about Fletcher's. In my opinion, did you book the greatest show Fletcher's ever had?
Oh, God.
The Darkness?
I did. Yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
tell you something.
Yeah. You remember that?
Do I remember it? That was one of the best concerts I've ever seen. By the way, did 200 people fit upstairs?
Barely. It was packed for
I mean,
200 people.
what was the sellout?
The capacity was like 250.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it
But
was
that
small.
was, I mean, that was tight.
That was nuts
tight.
to butts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, okay, so that's the greatest show I've ever seen in that size venue. It was mobbed. They were incredible.
Yeah.
And we had been one of the only radio stations in the country.
I want to say 98 was the first.
We were the
Yeah,
first.
I think so.
I think that was Dave Hill.
Yeah.
And Dave Hill told us we were going to play The Darkness. First time I heard the song, I was like, you're out of your fucking mind.
Right.
The third time I heard it, I was like,
Hooked.
this is the greatest
Hooked.
fucking song
Yeah.
I've ever
Oh,
heard.
that album was amazing.
Uh-huh.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And that concert, I didn't realize you did that.
Yeah, there were some incredible shows there before their time. One that stands out was the Killers.
Oh,
and
listen to these bands.
And the opener for the Killers was Fall Out Boy.
Yeah.
And a 250 capacity venue.
I remember Fall Out Boy.
Yeah, a bunch, but a lot of different, like,
and
you
the
know,
ticket
Linkin
was
Park,
$12.
probably. Yeah, like My Morning Jacket.
Oh my God, listen to these bands.
Just a bunch of them. I forget now. It's been so long, but we did a lot of stuff there. Brian Burkert, gotta love him. Great.
Yeah,
you know, your good buddies, Brian. So yeah, that was cool.
And any shows that you've seen at the Wrecker or Wrecker Theater over the years, there's a great chance that there were your shows as well, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I'm still booking Wrecker.
Tell you the best show I ever saw at the Wrecker. Bet you booked it.
Mm-hmm.
Was Mike Ness, Social Distortion. Dude, Matt knows this. I mean, Mike Ness is my John Lennon.
I hear you.
Is that right? I didn't know that.
So good.
Dude, Mike Ness is the greatest lyricist since John Lennon.
Okay.
I put him up with Springsteen. I put him up with Dylan. I don't give a fuck what anybody says until you take the time to read it. I realize you might not like the music. I get that.
I'm not disputing. I'm not a fan.
That guy is my
disputing.
John Lennon. I've said it 10,000 times.
And just rock and roll.
That night I got there, kind of made my way up front to the barrier. And one of the security guys, I forget his name, he looks at me and he walks over to me and he's at the barrier and I'm up front, like pressed like this. And he goes, "You like them?" I go, "It's my favorite band." He literally, I'm a grown ass man in my mid 30s. He reached right over the barrier and picked me up over it. I was like, "What the fuck? I'm a grown man. Get the fuck off me." Sets me down. He goes, "Stand here."
In front. Yeah.
I walked right around and just stood right at the side of the stage so I didn't block anyone.
Nice.
I was the only guy inside the pit, whatever you want to call that area between the barrier and the stage. And I watched Social Distortion. And Mike Ness 3 times, like, he walks across the stage. He stood right in front of me 3 times, looked right down at me, just kind of smirked like, "I don't know who the fuck you are, dude, but you must be important." Right. And I didn't get to meet him that night, which was a dream, but I didn't. And I did meet him, though, 2 weeks after Ball and Chain was released.
Oh, nice.
And they came to 98 Rock, and Russ Motley interviewed him when Russ was doing mornings. So figure out that year. And it was the coolest 2 dudes I ever met in my life. And him and his Dennis, who was a very famous part of that band, who died in the early 90s. Might have been late 90s. I interviewed both of them. It was the coolest thing. It was the first time I ever heard Ball and Chain. And that song to this day is still in my top 5 songs ever.
Yeah.
Now, one of the coolest shows I saw at the Wrecker, I don't know if this was your show or not. Were you at the Wrecker when Slayer played there? Did you put Slayer?
That was an IMP show.
It was.
Was that crazy?
Oh, my God. Unbelievable. Yeah. I couldn't believe that
I agree.
Slayer was in that
there
venue.
There was a couple of shows like that.
Yeah.
But that was a completely different time. Yeah. And we can get into that later, how things have changed. We got all of it. Yeah. We got everything that went from DC to Philly. This is pre-Live Nation, so it was a whole different world.
Yep.
We got all of it. I mean, I could rat off so many bands that played record that you can't believe.
Do that. And you know what? I have a bunch of flyers here from stuff Paul has. Bands that Paul's grown over the years.
Let's get to that in 1 minute. I just want to ask one, and that's where we'll go. But I want to, because this is a very, very interesting conversation we're having. Yet there's so much depth to it and nuance that goes with all of it. We got to try to keep it inside of an hour and a half. So what I want to do is this, Paul. I want to tell you a couple things, and I think we're going to do that. And that's this. You're a guy from Baltimore like me and Matt. You had a vision. You had a dream. You started doing it. You've become very successful at it. We're going to hear about all of that. But the thing I want to say up front, so for those listening, you get the idea. I've always said, and later in life, I've learned it more than ever. The people that do things right, honestly, and fairly always succeed. And you, my friend, started as whatever you did at Maryland Musician Magazine, and now might be in the top 3 biggest promoters in Maryland as far as entertainment goes. Say what you want. These are facts. And I'm honored to see your success, dude.
Thanks,
and
dude.
You deserve every single dollar you have ever made, because I know you have never really, ever ripped anyone off or been unfair. And that, my friend, is the most interesting part of this entire story that we're going to talk about.
Thanks.
Does that make sense to set it up that way?
Yeah. I mean, and we should get into just what the life of a concert promoter is, because a lot of people don't know.
I agree.
They see all your big shows and festivals. They don't know what's all behind it.
Yep.
So mention a couple of the big festivals that you've done that people would know.
Well,
I know you've got Trifecta coming.
Yeah,
up.
well, the first festival that I did was 2012. We called it the Charm City Music Festival.
Yeah.
Where was that?
The headliner was Weezer.
Where was that?
That was at the Harbor Point where the Exelon building is now.
Yeah.
And they never had a big festival
Right.
like that there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the first one, 2012.
So in 2012, you saved all your pennies, rolled them up, deposited them. Did you have?
Not exactly.
Okay.
Had a partner,
Perfect.
a radio station, which we won't say who.
I don't care
but
who. You can say whoever you want. I'm not a radio station. I don't give a shit.
It wasn't 98, put it
Okay.
that way.
Fair enough.
And they came to me and they
That
said
was HFS. It was Weezer.
they came to me and they said they wanted to put a festival together. They saw what I was doing at Record, blah,
Sure.
blah, blah. Said, no problem, let's do it. I was a partner, did it. It was a success. It was
Yeah.
great. But the partner was, let's just say, not my style. And I learned a lot of what not to do there. And
What a great! I love the beginning of the story.
you know what I mean? We disagreed a lot on stuff, and he was just all about the mighty dollar.
Yeah.
And I get it. Look, I understand that part of it too, but he could care less about logistics, aesthetics, cutting things last minute. You know, when we say VIP bathrooms, we want VIP bathrooms.
Sure.
He brought in the porta potties. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
So we argued a lot. I got out of it, which was great. Everything was good, successful, but it was enough for me to say, you know what, I'm going to do a festival on my own.
You're going to do your own thing.
And that's
Yeah.
when the first Shindig came out, and that was the following year. I did the Shindig, the first Shindig.
What were the headliners for that first
I
one?
think you have the flyer
Do I
right
have it
there.
right
I
here?
think so. I saw it there.
I'm gonna take
Dri-
a guess. It was Joan Jett.
Correct.
Dude, how do I remember this shit?
so I had-
and was that at Carroll Park?
Exactly.
God damn,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Good memory, man.
I'll tell you what, it's the fact that I never did drugs and never really drank. I
Yeah.
smoke a lot of pot now, though.
God, there's a lot of shindigs, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
The first
I'm
one,
going through all these
so I had-
flyers, man.
I had two
Yeah.
main stages. The headliner on the last stage, which was probably the bona fide headliner, big fan, Dropkick Murphys.
Ah,
They were the headliner on one stage, and the other stage was Joan Jett
Yeah.
headlining.
yeah.
But
Did you make
that's
money?
it. That's it right there.
Look at that. And the audience can see that right
Joan
now.
Jett, Clutch, Gaslight Anthem.
Hey, did you make money on your first festival? Like as a businessman, was it profitable?
The first festival, Charm City,
Yeah.
was a yes.
Okay.
The second festival, which the one I'm talking about,
Yeah.
believe it or not, no.
Really?
And, yeah. And
Was it mistakes that you made
no,
that you just didn't know?
No, you know what? It was maybe I overestimated the amount of tickets I was going to sell, which is a common problem with promoters. It's not easy, believe
Hey,
me.
Matt, know anything about overestimating your value?
Yeah, sure.
Right. So, it was tough. I'm not going to lie. It was tough. But the thing is like people come into the festival. We had 10,000 plus people there. It looked great. People come into the festival. Oh my gosh, you must make so much money.
Yeah,
Look
of course.
They have no idea.
Well, people
the
don't understand
expenses
your
that go-
run, your risk
Yes.
behind all this. So talk about that a little bit.
I mean, it's everything.
Paul,
I didn't.
Not to get personal.
I don't mind getting personal, man.
Shindig Festival.
Yeah.
What's your total budget for entertainment that day, roughly?
It wasn't really, I go about it a different way. Maybe I knew certain headliners that I wanted, and I said, you know what, I'm not going to exceed. I think that specific festival, the talent budget
Yeah.
was about $650.
Okay, I want to say something. That's $650,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Paul,
And there was no ad. Go ahead.
if you put that festival on and you sold 500 tickets, do you get out of paying that $650,000 in any way?
You're done.
Right.
No, you're done.
So think about that. His first venture on his own, really, he had to guarantee almost $750,000.
That's just the band.
That's just the band.
That's not including production, the
Well,
sound,
by
the
the
lights,
end of it,
the tenting.
are you in the $1 million range or close to it?
A little over.
Little over $1 million
But
fucking dollars.
and that may sound crazy to most people, but I believed that it would work.
doesn't sound crazy.
And we didn't have a festival like that. You remember some of the 98 rock festivals?
Fuck yeah.
What were they called, Matt? Down at Rashfield.
Oh yeah, oh man, what was it called?
Right?
We had Slash down there.
What the fuck was the name of that?
What were they called?
Damn. You're going way back. But yeah.
You know, if only there was a device you could look up and find out these things.
Like not Thrash at the Rash, but it was something.
Yeah, it was something like that. Let me say this, man, just about everything. It's like a lot of people think, oh, well, I could just book huge headliners and people are going to come. But you as a promoter need to know how to reach those people.
That's just it. So I have relationships. That's a big part of it.
Yeah.
Not anyone, you can't just pick up a phone, contact the agent for Dropkick Murphys and say you want to book them for a festival.
Yeah.
So luckily I had the relationships with them from booking Wrecker and everywhere else. So yeah, they gave it a shot. And you know what?
So that's key. But you as a promoter need to be able to reach the fans that are going to come see Dropkick Murphys, is my point.
Yes.
You can't just book them and expect people to show up.
Right.
Yeah.
So it wasn't bad, if you will. It was a loss, but it wasn't such a significant loss where I wasn't going to do it again. Call me crazy.
Yeah.
I knew it. I knew it would work. I knew it.
So you lost just enough money to keep you in the game.
Pretty much.
I get it, man. Listen,
but it was great. There was not, to me, standing there and watching this, you know, it's tough sometimes. You know, you're out there in the middle and everybody's, you know, great mood, hugging you. This is great. It's hard doing that, knowing you're losing your ass, you know, but you have to roll through it. And it was a lot of live and learns. But it was, I mean, there were so many incredible memories of that festival. One specifically, which I have to say, I just never forget it.
You made out with Joan Jett.
That's funny. It is related to Joan Jett.
Of course it is.
Matt, this is crazy.
Dude, she's my favorite female rock star ever.
And she's so cool.
She's in my top 10 greatest rock stars ever.
So cool.
And she loves Baltimore.
She loves Baltimore.
Yeah.
And prior to that, I knew her from when I managed Laughing Colors.
Yeah.
We shared the same manager as Joan, Kenny Laguna.
Yeah.
He's been around forever. He managed Ted Nugent, AC/DC, a bunch of bands. So we co-managed Laughing Colors. We were thinking that was going to be it. By me signing a co-management deal with this guy, this was it. This was their break. We were going to make it. Long story short, didn't happen, came close. But anyway, we opened like 4 or 5 shows for Joan up and down the East Coast. So we got to know her and her crew.
That's awesome.
Remember City Limits in Frederick?
Yeah.
So we did that. Anyway, so she's super cool. And I got a trailer for her, like a Winnebago at Shindig. Went up, knocked on the door. Hey, come on in. So we're standing there. It's Kenny, Joan, and myself, and we're talking. This is when the band before her were playing on the main stage. Yeah. And her and Kenny, big smokers.
Yeah.
So they light up a joint, you know, and she hands me a joint, and my first reaction was, you know, I'm kind of working, and I'm thinking, when is the next time Joan Jett's going to pass me a joint? You know what I mean? So it was great. So we smoked a little bit, talked, and she's like, how is it out there? And I said, oh, it's great. She's like, let's go out. And I walked. I just it's one of these things that just will just remain with me. We walked out of the Winnebago. She grabbed my arm. And we walked from the backstage to the top of the deck of the stage. And it was like people were taking pictures and Joan, and she was just grabbing my arm. And it may have only been 18 seconds, but it was amazing.
I know exactly what you mean.
We walked
legend,
up.
Dude.
She's great. We walked up. She looked out. It was a sea of people. And she looked at me and she said, good job. These are my peeps. Wow. And it was awesome. It was just, to me, it was like, you know what? I just lost a lot of money. This is good.
This just made my $200,000 loss worth it, or whatever it was.
Yeah. But that was the first festival.
Now, the Trifecta Festival.
Yes.
At Timonium.
Yep.
Your first one was the Several Species Queen one, right?
No. Again, Matt, you have a flyer. The first one was very small. So
was it at Timonium?
Yeah, at the fairgrounds.
Okay.
There's a gap in there.
Okay.
I did, not to keep going timeline.
No, I love this.
So the first Shindig did it, let's say, lost a little, went for the next one, knew it would work.
Right.
And the next one was Jane's Addiction, who I'm a huge fan.
I remember that.
Huge fan of Jane's Addiction. I think get all mixed up. Jane's Addiction, Rise Against, Hailstorm, Chevelle. It was a good.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
Made money. Great.
Right.
The following year, did it again. And that was Godsmack headliner.
Yeah.
With Stone Temple Pilots, with Chester Bennington from Lincoln Park singing Scott Weiland's
Wow.
part. Amazing.
Right.
It was amazing.
Wow.
So a lot of stuff happened that was negative, and even though it was successful, quote unquote, just ran into some issues with the city. The
And
guy,
where was this one?
this was St. Carroll Park. Now, keep in mind,
right.
this is 2015.
Yeah.
The uprising.
Yep. I got it.
It was tough. It was.
Yeah.
There were people calling it Bodymore.
Right. I remember.
People from other cities were saying, well, you won't catch me dead there.
I get it.
It wasn't great for marketing.
Right.
And also, with all due respect to Carroll Park, that area, not the greatest area.
Yeah.
But we did it, and it was good. But there were some situations that happened where I got treated unfairly.
I forgot that it was even there, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Like I told you about the merch.
Yeah.
That was one thing.
Yeah.
But there's a huge parking lot there. Montgomery Park.
Yeah,
If you guys know where that is,
Yep.
everybody sees it. That big white building, Montgomery Park.
Yeah, right off 90. That's
Exactly.
underneath 95,
Right.
basically, after you go through the tunnel.
Exactly.
Right before Caton Avenue.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that's where everyone parked.
Right.
So before I even decided to do a festival at that location, I met with the owner of the parking lot. He owned a ton of space around the area.
Sure.
And I said, look, I'm thinking about doing a festival here, but I can't do it if we can't park here. No problem. We worked out a deal. He wanted a lot more than I thought he would want because it was empty, but business guy. Again, he could care less about me. He wanted his money.
Yeah.
I said, fine. We did a deal, handshake deal, done. Everyone parked there for the most part. And then the next one, everyone parked there. Third one came, and I said, just making sure, here's my date. We're good. He's like, I don't think people need to park at my spot. I said, what do you mean? He's like, I don't think I need to share my revenue with you. And it's all that, it's the ancillary revenue that promoters get,
Sure.
which a lot of people may not know, but that's the difference.
You rely on
that's
that.
what tips the scale.
Yes.
It's not ticket sales, believe me.
Right.
There's no promoter can make a living just off ticket
You're
sales.
paying the bands essentially with a lot of that money.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, you will just break even on the ticket sales and expenses in a perfect world.
Right.
Then it's all the ancillary business.
Then you nickel and dime your way to profit.
Yes.
I get it.
Pretty
brother.
much.
That's business.
It's the bar, it's merchandise,
Yes.
it's parking, it's all
It's
of that.
food vending. You get a percentage of all of it. Yes.
Absolutely. So he said, you know what? Your crowd can park here, but I'm not going to share the revenue with you. And I just thought that was a really shitty thing to do.
A done deal
but
moment.
I told him, I said, you know what? I disagree with what you're saying, but it is what it is. You're holding the cards. So I said, can you do me a favor? Just please keep the parking fee what it's always been. It was $15. He said, we'll see. Day of $30. And guess what? It's 24/7 that's getting greened online.
Of course,
no one has any idea about this other guy.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's things that happen that's not in your control.
What was that guy's name?
He passed away.
Then never mind.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I don't want to talk about a dead man.
Yeah. All right. He passed away.
Fuck
but
that
then,
guy.
but there was agreed.
Yeah.
But there was that. And then literally 4 to 5 months after the festival, I got a $10,000 bill from the city of Baltimore saying for overtime police. 4 months later.
Wow.
How am I going to fight that?
Yeah.
Some little independent guy, but I paid it. I mean, I have a clear mark in the city. After that, it was like, you know what? I'm done.
Yeah.
I want to do something that's way less stressful. I don't have to put out that much money. And that's when I did Trifecta at the fairgrounds. No one was doing a big food truck thing there. So I kind of married the two together.
That feels like home to me, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's been great.
I have literally said to anyone, man, we need to do a festival. I go, Timonium Fairgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
And they go, why? I go, name a better venue. Location, access, parking,
Agree.
a space.
Yep.
Everything's there.
But they don't really want to do.
Well,
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. Yeah.
Paul,
but
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask you something. I was gonna switch gears for
Yeah,
a
go
second.
ahead,
Yeah. So I was gonna ask you, like, you've nurtured a lot of bands from, baby bands. A lot of them local bands even.
Yeah.
Before they even had a record deal, and nurtured these bands until they are huge touring arena bands. Which one would you say is the most satisfying?
All-time low.
All-time low.
Without a doubt.
Unbelievable.
So talk about that a little bit, your relationship to them and
just
why it's so special to you.
This adds so much to what he's about to say. I got to tell you this little thing. So I adopted a girl, London, right?
Yep.
So there used to be a little church up in near
like Parkville,
Yeah, St. John's.
Perry Hall,
St. John's. Where is that?
Yep.
It's in
Baldwin Mill.
it's Kingsville, I think.
No. Further over. It's like Moncton, that area.
Okay.
Hereford.
Not even.
God, Jarrettsville.
Right off Harford Road. Right, it's a little area right off Harford Road. They have a couple restaurants there.
No. It's not the place I'm talking about.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
This St. John's is the church, but it's on a country road, right?
Right.
Yeah. All-time low played there.
Yeah, it was their home base for years.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's London came home one night to me. She goes, I saw the best band in the world. They're going to be huge. She's like 15.
It's awesome.
And I go, oh, that's great, honey. So she's like, I love them. And she like wrote it on her book bag, all-time low, had stickers that they did. So I said to her, how old's the band? She goes, I think they're like 2 years older than me. And I go, so they're like 15 or like 16, 17, 18. She's like, yeah. I go, they're the best band in the world, huh? She goes, yeah.
Boom.
Pick it up from there.
And they were, man. There was something special about them from day one. I mean, they did Noise in the Basement back in the day. They were the very first Noise in the Basement band of the month, as a matter of fact.
Is that right?
Is that right?
Yeah.
What a cool.
Well deserved.
Yeah. So you picked them up how? How did you get involved with them?
I wouldn't say I picked them up. I booked them at Wrecker. We used to do these Sunday night local music spotlights.
I remember.
And it was amazing. We'd have 4 bands, just local bands, and I'd give them tickets to sell, which is, I used to do it. It doesn't work like that now, but and I forget if they sold a lot of tickets or not, but they were on this particular show. And that was like the breeding ground. You see some of the bands, you're like, oh, they're pretty cool. And if a band draws well, that always gets everyone's attention.
Yeah, of course.
So they played and they had a really good crowd. Don't remember it being overwhelming, but a good crowd.
Yeah.
But what struck me was before we even opened the doors, there was a line, and most of them were just young girls.
Yeah.
And when that happens, you got to take note,
Oh,
So, and plus they all went to Delaney. I went to Delaney. So I'll condense it, but they played and you could just tell they got it. You know when you see a band when they're young, the first time I saw Hailstorm, Lizzie, star.
Yeah.
It's just, she's got it. So they played.
You and I have a connection there with Hailstorm too.
Absolutely.
By the way, it's Long Green Pike in Hydes,
Is
Maryland.
that where it is?
Gotcha.
Okay, you're right.
I got a text. I don't know from who, but somebody texted me.
So started booking them more. I booked them a couple times, opening for bigger bands at Fletcher's. And then, they started to really gain traction at Wrecker. Next time in, there was a lot more people there.
I remember that show.
And you could see, you got it. And they won like the HF Festival. What was that called? The Big Break.
Yeah.
So I just kept, they were buddies, and they would, we would talk a lot about what they wanted to do, and you could just tell they had the drive.
Yeah.
I want to say literally the day or several days after high school, they all got in their van and went on a tour.
Yeah.
And it's the same guys, and they're just super cool, but they did it. And every step of the way. So we did Wrecker, sold out Wrecker. Then we went to Ram's Head, sold out Ram's Head.
Yeah.
Then we went to Towson University, the arena, sold that out.
Wow.
We went to UMBC, sold that out. Went back to Ram's Head, did 2 nights there. Then all of these are sellouts. It was just the natural progression of a band starting to make it.
What a great journey, man.
Then we did Pier 6, sold out. So they've just, it's amazing. And the pinnacle, well, I don't want to say pinnacle because they're not done yet, but Merriweather last year.
Yeah.
Merriweather.
Yeah.
They headlined Merriweather, and it was amazing.
And that had to be, I wasn't at that show, but it had to be special.
It was
their hometown.
Amazing.
How's your relationship with them now?
Great.
Can I ask a person, why did it end? Why are you not still there?
Why did what end?
Your relationship with them and the working. Are you still their promoter
in Baltimore? Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So, but it's different. everything's a little different.
Yeah, of course they are.
Again,
they're calling the shots.
But luckily, this is a band though where when they were coming up, starting to do a lot of, when the bands are younger, no one cares.
Yeah.
Agents, other promoters, record, they don't care. Once there starts to be, if there's starting to be a scene, all of a sudden, who's this band? Who's this band?
Yeah, of course.
And when they started getting bigger and they were selling tickets, and even with Ram's Head, Live Nation and other promoters would say, hey, we want to book them. And this is where, to me, the relationships come in, especially good relationships. They would say to everybody, Paul's our guy.
That's amazing.
They have my back.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for that. Where I can tell you, I don't want to name names, but several don't, and several don't care. And I've worked with a lot of bands on that Fletcher's level to Record to Ram's Head. And after that, Paul, it is what it is. I don't expect it, but when it happens where there's bands that go out of their way to say, no, Paul's our guy. Yeah. He needs to be involved in this show. Yeah. And Hailstorm's another one.
Dude, you mentioned, I just remembered a show that you booked. You mentioned a line of girls, and that shows something. I remember when you booked Justin Bieber.
Oh my gosh.
At the fair.
Talk about a line
Maryland
of
State
girls.
Fairgrounds. And this is when right before I think he went over the edge.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
my kids went to that concert. Now that I remember, it's at the fairgrounds in Timonium.
And it was 9 billion little girls in Justin Bieber
unbelievable
shirts. Homemade shirts at the time. I remember.
Was he a douche?
He was great.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was. This is
before he exploded.
2010.
Yep, that's exactly when it was.
Younger, the cute kid,
Yeah.
But it was great. He pulled up on a tour bus. It was just a driver, him, and his parents, and it was great. He was out, behind stage playing frisbee with people. He was cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and it was the best day the fair has ever had.
Now he yells at reporters for standing outside of a penthouse hotel to take his picture.
Right. Yeah. But that was amazing.
Yeah.
Like everyone wanted tickets. I got tickets for the governor, for everybody. It was a big deal.
Not me. I paid for mine. You son of a bitch.
You should have called me.
I had 4 kids that went. 2 adults and then some cousins. I would never do that to you.
My daughter was too young. We were at the fair that day, and it was tough to get on anything. Lines were out of control. It was all because of that show.
It was great. Yeah.
Hey, real quick, just a little showbiz stuff here. Our show business. We got to wish somebody well. Our boy Rocky Tofi, who listens every day. Rocky from the chat room.
Of course, yeah.
He had surgery today at 1. I don't even know what it was for, but we just want to wish him well. Rocky is a super fan. He watches every show from start to finish every day. And he's recovering, I hope, right now. If he's listening, Rocky, we love you and thank you.
Lots of love, Rocky. Speedy recovery.
We are talking to Paul Manna right now, who is, I don't know who's bigger than you in town, but you're one of the biggest promoters, concert promoters, festival promoters we know. We've known you since you were absolutely at the beginning, a very young man, same as me and Matt.
Yep.
And we've all had success. Yours is an incredible story, and we're hearing about it. So, all-time low, we've talked about them. Laughing Colors, we've talked about them.
Let me say something about Laughing Colors.
Yeah, please.
I can honestly say, in my opinion, the best band to ever come out of Maryland that did not get signed.
I mean,
it's unbelievable. Especially, we were playing them on Night of Rock back in the day.
Absolutely. Solution. We had so many chances. We went up to New York. RCA Records brought us up. The whole bit. The stuff you hear about. Wined and dined us. Gave us all suites in Times Square. Had a private showcase for the president of RCA. I mean, as a manager, I can't do more than that.
No.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It's a shame. And I still think they were just great. And they were one of the bands that around that time that were like playing these clubs and selling out the clubs.
Dude,
you remember those days?
I had Hammerjacks. I'm managing Hammerjacks. I was at Daytona's.
Yeah.
I also had Padonia Station.
Oh my, that's right.
Laughing Colors played all those places.
Oh, yeah.
Every show was a sellout.
They were. Yeah.
I mean, and I'll tell you something. Name a musician in that band. He's as good as anybody in any band.
That whole band is amazing musicians. Yeah. Dave's an incredible songwriter.
Great front guy. They had it. It's a shame, but anyway.
Do you consider Kix making it?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Then I'll go with Laughing Colors, maybe.
Who didn't?
I'm saying who
didn't get the opportunity.
Fair
put
enough.
It that way.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know another band that you could equate them with that were that good that just missed it.
Yep.
For what? Not for lack of effort, just didn't work out.
It's a shame.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be like me and Matt if we were to judge radio. We never really made it, but goddamn did we get close.
We're doing something. We did something.
And we're really fucking good at it. I mean, that's the truth. Paul, it's interesting. It's interesting when I talk to people who have literally built their own business, and that's what you've done. I know you're the last guy in the world that would say you did it all yourself. I know you. But ultimately, you've made every heavy decision. You've lost money when you had to. You've made money when you had to.
Yeah.
And like I said in the very beginning of this story, you've done it all honestly and above board. And to see you sit here now successful, I mean, for me, just personally, it's one of those things I look at and it helps inspire me because I go, okay, there's a guy that just did it. He worked for a magazine that isn't even around anymore, that was so niche that if you weren't in a band, you didn't really know about it.
Yeah.
Yet he came from that to where you are now. So it's just, thank you, dude, for showing a lot of us the way. I mean, I say it sincerely, man.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, it's the truth. Matt, Paul's a guy that also is intelligent. So if you don't mind, we do a little segment here. It's actually a big segment. No, this is easy.
All right, all good.
It's called That's the Facts, Matt, and it's our news segment.
Okay.
We just thought about news, and you're invited.
Done.
You good?
Done.
Chime in when you want.
In other words, talk, open the mic whenever you want and say whatever you want about the stories here.
Here's what I'm trying to say in a nice way. I'm sick of talking to you about you. You understand?
Enough of me, no doubt. Right. Starting to get uncomfortable here.
This is a little bit we call That's the Facts, Matt. It's our version of the news brought to us by Barnes Paving, BARNES paving.com. 10% off if you mention Mickey Talks. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. That's the Facts, Matt. What do we got, buddy?
So we've been keeping people up to date on the Diddy trial here. I don't know if you've kept up with any of this. We can't. It's not televised because it's a federal court case. Right. So we've been kind of keeping people up on what's going on. Diddy, day 21. They've had issues with a juror. Court was in session for only a half day in the sex trafficking trial of Sean Diddy Combs. The jury was seated after lunch because of a delay initiated by prosecutors. They expressed to the judge in a sidebar that juror number 6 exhibited a lack of candor with the court. The defense believes it's an attempt to dismiss one of the only black jurors. The judge will make a ruling on that soon.
Well, I realize, Matt, you probably have no idea. Read the accusation again real quick.
They're saying that juror 6 exhibited a lack of candor with the court.
Can either of you explain what that means?
I mean, they're essentially saying that this guy is not being truthful.
The juror,
or like sarcastic or something. Just
maybe, or maybe he is. They're saying that he's not biased.
Okay,
is my guess
that he is biased,
or that he is biased, and he's not being forthright about that.
Or maybe he wants to be relieved. You know what I mean?
Possibly.
Yeah, but I think as a juror, you can request out. You can just flat out say, "Hey, look, I don't want to do this."
Can you?
Yeah, and then if they go, "Why?" You go, "I'm literally."
I had no idea. Is that right?
I think. I mean, how can they stop you? Because all you got to do at that point is go, "I think he's guilty. I don't want to hear anymore."
I thought it was like your civic duty.
It is your civic duty to show up.
Yeah.
And to participate.
Okay.
But I don't know that if you can honestly.
If only there was a device that we could.
You know what, Matt?
You look it up, and I'm gonna finish telling you about the day.
Can a juror request to not be part of the trial once it begins? Go ahead.
Diddy's recent ex-girlfriend, testifying under the alias Jane, spent the day on the witness stand, and the jury saw text messages by Jane that suggested she was complicit in arranging freak-offs for Diddy's pleasure. So on the night of her birthday, she had sex with 3 escorts while he watched. The next day, she thanked Diddy and said she appreciated every detail of her evening. Right?
Yep.
Jane will return today for another day under oath. Diddy's defense team is working hard to discredit her testimony as if the entire case could be swayed by what she says on the witness stand. Prosecutors said that the defense's lengthy cross-examination of Jane has pushed their schedule into next week when they hope to rest their case as early as Wednesday, June 18th. Court will not be in session on Juneteenth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, the answer to our question.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks to AI, the smartest human alive.
Of course.
AI. It is not generally possible for a juror to simply request to be excused from a trial once it has begun. However, a couple of circumstances will allow it. extreme inconvenience, public necessity, or undue hardship.
Yeah.
Medical reasons, obviously.
Makes sense.
And the third one, which is where we're probably at, misconduct.
Yeah.
Actions that impair the juror's ability to be impartial or perform their duty, such as ignoring court instructions or refusing to deliberate. So basically that juror 6, whatever his name is, could have said, I ain't talking about this. He's guilty.
Right.
If he does that.
That's what I'm thinking. They're going to try to prove that he's biased in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then what happens? And here's the answer to that question, which I find fascinating. If it is found that he is that way, the judge may make the final decision. However, the alternative jurors will be used.
Yeah.
In other words, there's no mistrial. Just that guy's off, new guy's in.
Well, there's always an alternative. So it's never ending.
Right.
And usually there's a few, I think.
Yeah.
In a lot of
I think
cases.
it's 12 of them and 3 alternatives that they keep from the beginning. I don't know for sure, but I think it's something like that.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
So, Paul, we did this story earlier this month, I think. And I don't know if you heard about the enhanced games that are coming up. Have you heard about this?
I have. What is that?
So this is the games where they're going to be essentially allowed to do steroids.
It's the Olympics with steroids allowed.
Yeah. So the anti-doping watchdog wants to shut down enhanced games, which are set for next year. It's the head of the World Anti-Doping Agency. It's urging U.S. officials to block next May's enhanced games, a Las Vegas event that would pay athletes $1 million for record-setting performances while openly using performance-boosting drugs.
Is using performance-enhancing drugs illegal if I'm just a guy and I'm a golfer and I'm not a professional?
Yes.
And I take anabolic steroids under a doctor's
They're
order.
illegal. Not under a doctor, but he's not going to prescribe you stuff that's going to make your muscles grow.
That's not legal at all anywhere in the United States. I don't know if that's right either, but okay, let's go with that.
We had a device.
So then I just don't want to keep stopping the show. So let's take your version of it. It's not legal. So then of course it shouldn't be allowed, because what are we going to do next? Like, I'm not being funny. Do we have the I don't know, longest heroin stance alive where you shoot up and you have to stay awake the longest?
Well, you know what's going to happen.
Like, you're literally paying to watch people do illegal activities to earn money.
Yeah, see, I thought you were pro.
But it's not illegal.
Because I didn't think it.
It's not illegal. The steroids aren't illegal.
They are, or they are not illegal.
Are not.
Matt's saying they are.
I thought they were illegal. We got to check now.
Yeah, we got it. Matt, I don't mean to be rude. I hope you're right.
Yeah.
But I think you're wrong.
Yeah.
Are performing-enhancing steroids illegal?
Anabolic
It's illegal
steroids.
in a sport,
No.
Right.
Using anabolic steroids for performance enhancement without a valid prescription is illegal.
Yeah, but nobody's going to prescribe you that.
Are you out of your mind?
Well, I think that just like there are doctors who deal drugs and give people painkillers, but no legitimate doctor is going to, if I went to my doctor right now and said, I want to bulk up about 50, 75 pounds of muscle.
Right.
Can you prescribe me anabolic steroids? They're going to look at me like I'm crazy.
Okay, then I would like to counter your statement with this.
Okay.
What planet are you living on that you don't think they can find doctors to write scripts?
I'm not. That's exactly my point. I just said it's not that it's. I think it's.
I think they have no problems finding a doctor to do it.
The doctor that's doing that is very sketchy. He's not a doctor you necessarily want to do business with.
There is zero argument in that.
Anabolic steroids.
I have a friend that's doing that right now, and it's crazy to me.
Yeah,
he's doing steroids. Is he like a bodybuilder?
Not at all.
Just wants to be jacked up.
I guess.
Yeah.
Injects himself. Crazy.
Yeah, I don't think it's illegal, Matt, to just go to the doctor and say,
yeah, I mean, pain pills are not illegal if the doctor prescribes them for you. But
there's
if you got some guy,
there's a great example.
If you got a doctor that's prescribing you pain pills when you don't need them, that's not it's not a doctor that's doing things on the up and up.
But it's not illegal.
Yes, correct.
So then I go back to my argument. It's not illegal, so I'm all for it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I'm against it, though.
I get it. I do get it.
I think it's horrible for people. I think it's horrible for the sport.
Everybody's just trying to push the entertainment value. Yeah,
I think the same way about.
But it's a freak show,
right?
But it's the same.
But guess what? People pay for the freak shows.
Bingo.
It's never ending.
Are we going to see the 24/7 Entertainment presents
Hey, you never know.
the Baltimore Royd games by 24/7 Entertainment?
Yeah. So, but here's the thing.
You heard it here first.
Well, Matt,
That's why I came on. Actually, I want to announce our.
Yes. You know, Ed Hale announced he's running for governor on this show.
No way.
Am I lying, Matt?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, for real, man. There's a lot of news breaks on this show, Paul.
I don't have any.
We're
going to leave now.
We're kind of a big deal, Paul. No, I'm kidding. But I want to say something to you, Matt, in that whole thing, because it sounded a little condescending and I didn't mean it that way. I totally agree with you that it's awful, but the fact that they're going to do it and everyone's aware of what's happening, it's a victimless crime. Who's the victim?
The people, really. Well, see, this is
Wait
what
a
I
minute.
think.
Okay.
This is what I think is going to happen.
All right.
I think if this thing is allowed to happen, which it sounds like so far it is, eventually there are going to be people who aspire to be a part of this.
Yes.
And they're going to start to just juice themselves up to a point where it's ridiculous.
You know what else they did that
make
with?
Lots more
wrestling.
Unhealthy people.
They did it with wrestling. They did it with bodybuilding. They've done it in regular sport, baseball, very prime example. I agree with you, Matt, but we live in a country where you have liberty and freedom. And when we start deciding that we don't feel it's right that they do that to themselves, I think we're infringing on things that we shouldn't. I agree with everything you said to the part where you go, I don't think they should be allowed to do it. I think people should be allowed to do heroin.
Well, I hear you.
I really do. I think they should be allowed.
I think there's repercussions of people doing things like heroin in the community. There's crime. And
how about cigarettes and alcohol?
I agree with you. How about McDonald's hamburgers?
I don't want to.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get. So my point is this, though, Matt.
Yeah.
Who's getting hurt other than the person that's choosing to do it to themselves?
Maybe their families, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, but again, that's on him or her. It's not up to us to tell that person how to live. So that's why I'm enjoy
all about
shit
freedom.
Right.
No,
I know.
I just think it's a horrible thing.
It's horrible, but I'm going to pay to watch it. You know what else is horrible?
You're going to support that, huh?
See,
dude, let me ask you a question. Is porn
there's
horrible?
100,000 people that takes Mickey's stance.
I think
That's
there's
the problem.
50 million.
No matter
how
how bad it is.
Yeah.
People are pushing the envelope to what they want to see and watch.
Yeah.
Here's another.
We've gone too far on a lot of things.
We've gone too far on everything.
It's crazy.
Except moderation. That's what we haven't gone too far on.
Yeah.
My point is simply this. If you want to have everybody feel good, let everybody do what they want if it doesn't affect anyone else directly.
Can't happen, but you're right.
That's just how I feel.
Yeah.
I feel the same way you do. I mean, I think drugs should be legal.
I do too.
Not because I think people should do them,
but because they should have the right.
Because they should have the right to do that.
Do either one of you, and this is weird, Paul, you can opt out of this because we're just going off on a little bit of a tangent here in the news. How do you guys feel about self-inflicted assisted suicide?
Ugh.
If I'm terminally ill and I go, I don't want to live 8 months.
I went deep.
You mean
quick.
like euthanasia?
Well, because I think it really gets down to the point of it all. Yeah, euthanasia in humans. Should I be allowed to say, hey, listen, it's been fun.
Absolutely.
I'm dying. I'm in pain. I'm not going to get better. Every doctor said,
absolutely.
I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I mean, I think I do think that people should be able to do that, but it probably opens up a whole can of complicated worms, man.
Of course it does.
Like,
and you'd have to regulate that to say it has to be terminal illness. It can't be mental health
I'm not
only.
even saying that. I'm just saying, that opens the door for lots of shadiness too.
It does.
Like what? What's the shadiness?
Getting rid of somebody that
How do you get rid of somebody that signs a paper and they're mentally aware of what they're doing?
Well, like a DNR. It's the same.
It's the same thing.
I'm saying it's a lot of stuff that can be faked.
Yeah, I mean, you can fake anything. You know what I mean? I mean,
I think there should be medical evidence.
Yes, that's what I'm getting at.
Of a certain state.
This person will be dead within the year.
Right.
Signed by 4 different independent doctors. I then sign the 5th thing that says, I agree with the medical advice.
Absolutely.
I'm out.
If I'm in a right. Yeah.
That's just, and I feel the same way across the board with everything.
Yeah.
I just think that when we moralize rights, you're going to have different rights than I'm going to have because I have different morals than you.
Well, right. Yeah. It would come down to morals for certain people.
Right.
I think that, yes. I mean, you look at Robin Williams' case, for instance.
Totally.
And I mean, he committed suicide,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I guess that could have been done in a more humane way.
I don't
maybe?
think it
I
would have
don't
been done
know.
in a more humane way. And here's
Yeah.
why. He had mental illness.
Right.
He wasn't medically dying.
No.
He didn't
He had
want-
a degenerative disease.
He had about 12
Right,
years
yeah.
left to live, they're saying. 12 years.
Yeah, and he didn't want his family to see him go through this.
I'm
I think is what
talking
it
about
was.
the
And
part
I
where
get,
you're dying.
I get that.
Yeah,
I
Yeah, I do
completely
I do
get
too,
that.
for sure.
But I'm talking about the part where you have said to yourself, I've tried everything. They're telling me I have 8 months to live, even a year. I don't want to spend the last year of my life thinking about the last year of my life. I'd like to take it right now and check out before I have to deal with counting down a clock till the day my alarm goes off.
I think it happens a lot without it even being legal now. People, they overdose on their own drugs.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
Of course
Yeah.
they do it. I mean,
Yeah.
but
Or they go out on a boat and don't come back.
yeah,
There's
millions
a
of
lot of
things.
Yeah.
They walk out in the woods
You know.
with a shotgun and they're found 2 days later and their head's over there. It sounds graphic,
yeah.
but that shit happens. So imagine Grandpa says to his family, listen, I love you all so much. I don't want to sit here and watch you watch me die. I don't want to think about the fact that this date next year, I won't be here. I've accepted my mortality and I'm ready to do it. Please don't make me suffer through the inevitable. I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good.
Agreed.
Steroids should be legal.
That's what you got from that.
That's what I got from that. And the
Tell me
only
this,
one.
man. If steroids were legal, would you take steroids?
Not a shot in hell.
No way.
No.
Who wants to be 5'3" tall and 4'8" wide? Like, I don't want to walk around like SpongeBob SquarePants. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I would not do it. I will tell you what, I won't even take this, and I want to. And that's that weight loss shit, that Ozempic or whatever it's called.
Oh, dude. There's
Which
so
is
many
crazy
horrible
popular.
side effects.
Dude, I'm
Crazy
watching.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's side effects, but they're temporary as far as we know right now.
No, you want to hear about some of the side effects?
Not really.
You can get
Go ahead.
You can get what's called frozen stomach.
What is that?
That's where your stomach is frozen, it can't digest food, and you just vomit everything out all
Oh,
day.
man.
All right, well, that sucks. That's one reason why I've noticed.
It's a permanent side
Yeah,
effect.
I don't take
Wow.
things like that.
Yeah.
I don't believe that there are easy fixes to anything.
No.
So I don't do easy fixes. I never have my whole life. I think you got to work to get results.
And also, I think people react differently to all that.
True.
I have a friend that is on Ozempic. She looks amazing.
Yeah,
It's great. She lost probably 60 pounds.
Damn,
Yeah.
how big
And-
was this? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You know, enough for her to say, you know what, I want to do this. you know?
yeah.
But she looks great, feels great. I've asked her, do you have any side effects? She said, whether it's right or wrong, or
Yeah.
she said no. I mean,
That's
but-
great. I
and
mean, that's
she's
amazing.
probably the lucky one.
I don't want to say who, someone very close to me, because I don't want to put people's
yeah,
business out
yeah.
there. Same situation.
Yeah.
Like, she looks fantastic.
It's unreal.
Like another person. She feels great. Her mental health is better because she's feeling better about herself. All this stuff. So yeah, I get it, but it's not for me.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think they've quite perfected it as a weight loss drug.
Yeah. It's a little new.
Do you know what's the worst degree burns? Third or first?
Third.
Third. I had third degree burns on my legs for that vape.
Damn.
They took a full skin graft off of my leg, the other leg, to put it on my thigh that burned off.
Wow.
Right? They gave
That's
me
one way to lose weight.
they gave me 90 they gave me 90 Oxycontin
Sheesh.
when I left the hospital.
Yeah.
I took 4. When the 5th one was ready, I didn't have really uncomfortable pain, but I wanted the pill. And right at that moment, I went, why am I thinking about the pill? I'm not even in pain. And I went, that ain't fucking good.
Yeah.
And I flushed 96 pills down the toilet
Yeah.
and never took another drop of pain medicine with third degree skin
You
graft.
gotta be really
Damn.
proactive with that, man. Yeah.
Dude, so I recognized in myself, and then I'm going to be honest with you. They told me those Percocets, I probably wouldn't need them after about 10 days. Now, I was in my 2nd day when the 4th pill was, or 5th pill, whatever it was due. And I wasn't, and I went, okay, I'm in pain, but I just had surgery. I can get up and I can make it to the bathroom and I can lay here and fall asleep. It hurts, but I can handle it. And within 4 days, it was like, I was walking weird, but it was okay. And I think so much pain management is so overdone, and that's where the addiction comes
Of
from.
course. I mean, that's where it all starts.
That's
for
the
a lot
beginning
of
of
For
the
whatever
end.
reason, we started telling people, oh, it's going to hurt for a while, but here, take these and it won't.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane.
It's a shame.
It's
Like all of that. I don't understand a lot of that. And my wife, she is an intake coordinator at a mental health facility.
Jesus. Glad it wasn't the one I went to last year.
It's unbelievable. Like how many people are addicted to this or
Yeah.
just there's a lot, you know. It's
in all walks of life too, man.
It is.
Paul,
but I've never felt that addiction for anything. And
Me either.
I've done a lot. I mean, you know, but I've never felt like I needed
cigarettes. I was like that with cigarettes for 25 years. 30 years. I could not go. I couldn't quit. It's been, now I'm on a vape. And I don't want to hear this bullshit that it's just as bad as cigarettes. Horse shit.
Right.
I'm sleeping way better. I can breathe without a crazy wheeze.
Yeah.
I can walk up a flight of steps now and not be winded.
Nice.
I smoked a pack and a half of Marlboro Reds a day.
Damn.
Now I smoke about a full pod every day and a half. It's still heavy, but the difference is massive. I was able to quit cigarettes. I am now on a mission to quit this. It's going to take me a while, but I will do it. But I want to ask you, Matt, honestly, about like when we're talking about this stuff, do you think that addiction itself is something we should look at and just go, well, he has every right to be addicted?
No.
No?
Sorry. Go ahead, Matt.
I mean, either one of you.
I mean, what do you mean be okay
So
with
it's
it?
no problem that I'm addicted to cigarettes. None, right? None. It's not illegal.
Well, I mean, we live in a country where we're supposed to have personal freedom.
Right. Yeah.
Do I believe you have the freedom to do that?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right.
If
That's
you
all
were
I wanted
somebody
to know.
that I loved and cared about,
Of
though,
course.
I'm going to do everything I can to get you off of that.
Bingo. All right. So
Yeah.
we're in the same. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm with you. Yeah.
And I would advise you to avoid it. Right.
Perfect. Yeah.
Tell you to not ever get involved.
Right.
Yeah. I got to go back. I'm trying to quit another thing that's really hard. I quit hooking up. I got to quit hooking up with men. You know what I mean? I can't do it, Paul. It's tough. I love it.
A little hypnosis, man.
Yeah.
Do a little hypnosis,
yeah.
man.
I'm trying to find a lady that gets addicted to something, and it's not drugs. Anyway, go ahead, Matt. What's next?
Well, here's a guy that should probably need Ozempic, but he doesn't. Joey Chestnut.
Oh, God.
Jesus,
The hot
this
dog
dude's
guy?
a freak.
Yeah. He could be returning to the hot dog eating contest. The eating champion known as Jaws could be returning to the famous hot dog eating contest on Coney Island this summer. He's said to be in talks to return to the 4th of July competition after being banned in 2024 due to a sponsorship issue. Joey had agreed to a sponsorship deal with Impossible Foods to promote the company's new vegan hot dog ahead of the summer 2024 contest. That put him in hot water because, it's Nathan's. And Nathan's and Major League Eating reportedly were not happy with Chestnut promoting a rival brand.
Yeah.
Apparently, Major League Eating and Nathan's went to great lengths, though, to accommodate him and his management team, agreeing to the appearance fee and allowing Joey to compete in a rival unbranded hot dog eating contest on Labor Day. MLE said in a statement the two parties also stated that they are devastated Chestnut decided to represent a rival brand instead of Nathan's. He holds the record, of course, which is
74.
It's 76 hot dogs
76.
in 10 minutes. That he did that in 2021, but after that, he went on and broke the world record. This was outside of Nathan's. The world record he broke was 83 hot dogs and buns in 10 minutes.
That's unbelievable. By the way, I want to tell
He's
something.
skinny. The guy's skinny.
I want to.
How long is a hot dog?
Those are like 10 inches, I think.
Are
The
they
Nathan's.
really?
Yeah, they're the long. No, wait a minute. They use they're probably 6 to 7.
Yeah, something like that.
Do that times 83.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Can you imagine what you feel like after that?
That's
I mean,
41 and a half feet of hot dogs.
Crazy.
I can't even imagine what you have to go through the day after that.
Think about it this way. Think about it this way, right? Okay. The average male erect penis, hear me out, is 5.5 inches. 5 inches.
I think we're off air, Mick.
Listen, 5 inches, right? So if a girl was with 10 guys, that's 50 inches. That means she's almost had 5 feet of dick that she's taken in.
Wow.
And that's just based on 10 guys.
10 guys.
Ladies, start doing the math. Get your calculators out. How many feet of Johnson
That's nuts.
have you had?
That's crazy.
I'm just putting it in perspective of the hot dog eating contest, Matt. Right? That means that dude ate a 41.5-foot hot dog that day.
Yeah, exactly. And a bun
Right.
too, with bun.
Yeah, with the
That's
buns.
crazy.
Yeah.
Would
Would you get into an eating contest?
I can't do it, man. I'm not a big, like, I can sit down. I could probably eat a whole box. I'm not making this up. I could eat a pound of, like, a whole box of rigatoni.
Yeah.
Nice.
You cook the box. I could eat the whole thing probably. It would take me, I'm not lying, 20 minutes, a half an hour.
Well, you know what's weird, man? It's crazy that in 2025 they still allow this eating contest to happen. Like, would you ever promote something like that, Paul? Would you be able to? I mean, just with insurance, and I mean, you got to worry about people choking.
That's where insurance comes in.
Yeah.
You know, I do. I think it would be really cool that who could finish and polish off the most steamed crabs in 15 minutes.
That's got to be hard, though.
How's it hard?
I mean, how are you going to regulate?
I'll tell you how. I did this in my head.
Yeah.
And the size of the crabs too would come into factor, right?
So basically, you're going to have to get it. I mean, how many crabs do you think a person could eat in, say, 10 minutes? How many crabs?
A lot. You got to pick the whole thing?
No legs. The legs are gone. So you start with the orange shell, no legs, go. Eat all the meat that's left.
How many in 10 minutes?
Yeah. Do you think?
I mean, you could probably do 1 a minute, or no, 2 a minute if you're really fast.
2 a minute if you're really fast. I don't think it's possible. Now you're allowed.
I'm talking about you pop that shell open and you scoop it out and shove it in your mouth. You could do 2 in a minute.
Are you eating the white cartilage that holds the meat?
I mean, hopefully not, but maybe.
Right.
If you do that, I think you could do 3 or 4 a minute.
Yeah.
I think that might be a fun contest to do.
Oh, that'd be a gross contest, dude.
What if we do it on? Hey, what if we do it on the stage?
Oh, it'd be so disgusting.
The mustard, yes or no?
Oh,
I can't get. I wish they'd sell just that in a jar.
No way.
I love it.
I wish you could buy just the mustard. I'm not kidding you.
God.
You know, like if I'm eating crabs with 4 or 5 people around, when I watch them open their crabs, if they throw the shell in the middle, I grab the shell out of the pile and I dig the corners, right?
You can have
all day.
All my crab poop.
Yeah.
I'll take it all day.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's funny because the first or second trifecta, we did a pie eating contest with Rodney.
I remember that
with Rodney from Dangerous Delicious Pie.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
There's a guy we got to get on the show, brother.
Rodney,
Dangerous. I got to reach out to him tonight.
He is Baltimore
I love that
through and
guy.
through. You got to get him up here
Without a doubt.
For sure.
Thank you for saying his name, Paul.
Great.
What else we got, Matt?
I'm excited. Are you guys into the whole dinosaur thing? Was that ever a thing for you guys?
A huge dinosaur fan.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was little,
What's your
like
favorite?
I knew
Saying
all
I'm
of
immature,
the.
Paul.
I knew all of the dinosaurs.
Oh, Matt, Paul grew out of dinosaurs. He's so fucking cool.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Did you like Jurassic Park?
What's your favorite dinosaur?
Yeah, loved it.
What's your favorite?
I mean, I think that the T-Rex is just classic.
Yeah.
What's yours, Matt?
That's the fan favorite. I mean,
Just
it's
classic.
T-Rex. As
Not
a matter
mine.
of fact,
Not mine.
I'll show you guys something. What's yours?
The Velociraptor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a mini T-Rex.
Oh, I gotta download something real quick, Mick. I didn't put this in here.
Go ahead.
I wanted to show you guys.
Let me ask Paul a random question. Has nothing to do with the podcast. Just want your opinion on something.
Yep.
Name me, in your opinion, the 3 greatest rock bands starting from the Beatles forward. 3 greatest rock bands starting from the Beatles forward. I left Elvis out. Go ahead.
The greatest or my favorite?
Give me your top 3 bands.
All right, you know what, Paul? Think about that.
I already got it.
I got this story ready. And
No
then
problem.
We'll come back to it.
All right, let's see it.
So first of all, let me say there is a new dinosaur species related to T-Rex that's been discovered. The new species is named Conahulu mongoliensis. I'm sure I butchered that, Paul. And it was discovered after a recent analysis by researchers of fossils found in the Gobi Desert in Mongolia in the 1970s. The new species name, which I just butchered, means Prince of Dragons. And I can show you guys a picture of it here. Let me see. So here it is, the new species of, yeah.
Did you say found when?
Well, I guess they've been digging through the fossils that they had in 1970. It was discovered, actually.
Holy, was it in the Badlands? I didn't hear where they found it.
In Mongolia, in the Gobi Desert in Mongolia. And the name means Prince of Dragons. It lived around 86 million years ago and is considered a transitional form between smaller tyrannosaurs and the massive T-Rex. And they said the discovery fills a crucial gap in the Tyrannosaurus family tree.
Wow.
And I looked it up, you guys, earlier today. You can go on eBay and check this out. You can buy a T-Rex skull.
How much is it, dude?
$275.
Wait.
$245. Sorry.
Hold on.
Yeah.
A Tyrannosaurus Rex skull.
Look at this thing, man.
I can't really see. I'm sorry, but
I want this so bad. So badly. If anybody wants to give me a last-minute Father's Day gift, early Christmas present, birthday gift, I want. My wife would hate it.
I was going to say your wife would love that.
Oh, she would hate it.
Wow.
Dude,
that's wild.
Text me right now.
Are you saying $260? That's it?
$245.99 is the price for the T-Rex skull.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Should be 24.
You want to pitch in and we'll keep it here in the studio?
Okay, I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah. I once bought a pair of jeans in Las Vegas that cost $385, and I hated myself. Right? You're telling me that I could have the skull of a T-Rex, an animal that lived 70 million years ago.
Yeah.
Right for $250.
$250.
I'm in.
And then they got a bunch of like models of it, of course. But I want the real T-Rex skull. Right?
Yeah, 100%.
The fossil.
The fossil for $250. You didn't have to dig in the dirt.
That's neat.
What would your wife say, Paul? If you brought him a T-Rex skull.
Oh my gosh!
I didn't hear that. Is she a big dinosaur? I missed. I ran out to get a drink because my throat was literally closing. Yeah.
You never know.
I don't know if you guys heard what. I don't know if do you know the Smartless podcast?
I know it. What is that one?
It's Jason Bateman.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Will Arnett.
Brilliant
and,
podcast.
I heard about that.
I don't know why people listen to us if that thing's on. That's a great podcast, man. Hilarious.
Well, the hosts from the show are launching a new company. It's called Smartless Mobile, and it's a direct-to-consumer wireless service that promises to be data sane and refreshingly BS-free. So the company says plans will start at $15 a month and run up to $30, and you can lock in your price for life and won't deal with price hikes a few months in. Sean Hayes shares that if you own your phone, spend most of your day on Wi-Fi, and are on an unlimited data plan, moving to Smartless Mobile could literally cut your mobile bill in half. The company is similar to, I didn't know this, Ryan Reynolds has a company too called Mint Mobile.
Oh, I knew that.
Which also offers $15 rates.
Yeah. You never saw the commercials for Mint Mobile with him? Oh my God. It's a brilliant marketing thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I love them.
I'm still paying out the butt for mine.
Dude, I got a lot. I love Ryan Reynolds. I do. I think that dude is one of the smartest, most brilliant actor, whatever you want to call what he is. I love that guy. I love everything he does. I don't know him as a person.
I don't know a ton of stuff about him, honestly.
I mean, he owns Wrexham Soccer Club. Yeah. He took him up 4 divisions. It's unbelievable.
Unreal what he's done with that.
It's insane. Yeah. It's never been done. He's accomplished something that's never been done.
Who's his partner with that?
Rob McElhaney.
Okay.
The guy from the Philadelphia show, Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yep.
Brilliant story. Incredible.
Yeah.
So I think we all decided we wouldn't do Ozempic, but tell me if you guys would do this. There is a Filipino healer who treats sick people with viper bites.
Not a shot in fucking hell. Next story.
Pass.
Yeah. Next story.
Rosalio Collet lets patients pay to be bitten by his pet North Philippine temple pit vipers, claiming the venom heals heart problems, urinary infections, and more. He adopted the practice after he says a bite cured his own illnesses, and now also sells home-brewed venom-infused wine. There's a recent viral video that renewed the debate over the decade-old service. His daughter calls the snakes safe because their mainly neurotoxic venom rarely rots flesh. Yet
so it's safe.
Yeah. Yet
your asshole will disappear, but your skin will be fine.
I mean, why use antibiotics for your urinary infection when you could get bit by a viper?
Dude, I'm going to invent a treatment that I want you guys to invest in. Yeah. And it's this for ladies who have arthritis. If you touch my penis, it goes away. How about that one, Matt? Isn't it the same total amount of bullshit in that snake venom story?
I'm sure. I mean, I don't have any studies to prove it, but
I bet people are lining up for it.
They are They're lining up for it in the Philippines.
Yep.
Probably a lot of sketchy stuff you can do with the Philippines.
We hear stuff like that and we go, oh my God, how stupid you got to be, right? Yeah. Right here in this country, just hear me out. They believe that you can walk up to anybody on an altar and he puts his hand on your head and you could have lupus. And when his hand touches your head, it's cured.
You mean the Pope?
The preachers and shit. You are healed. That kind of shit.
The Pope, I can see that.
Yeah, the Pope might have that kind of power, especially now he's American. You know what I mean? I didn't trust any of the popes before. Now we got a MAGA Pope in there, whatever the hell he is.
Well, Texas has now legalized shooting sheep from a helicopter.
Wow.
Very Texas thing, it sounds like. If you have a rifle and a spare helicopter, it's about to be hunting season in Texas. Starting September 1st, Texan hunters will be allowed to shoot Barbary sheep from helicopters.
Shrimp would be
previously limited to
shooting shrimp.
feral hogs and coyotes.
That's tougher than the
you got to be a really good shot to see those shrimp.
Without a doubt.
Lawmakers say the North African imports introduced in the 1950s now overgraze drought-hit rangeland, bulldoze fences, crowd out native wildlife, and can spread disease to bighorn sheep. So ranchers welcome the move, noting chopper services cost about $1,000 an hour, and trophy hunts already run several $1,000s on foot. Outfitters add that hunters may now keep carcasses recovered from the aerial shoots, turning pest control into a high-priced sport.
Wow.
Would you do that?
It's like the deer population here.
Yeah.
Same, you know?
It does feel like that.
I'd never shoot a deer myself.
Well, I'm okay. I'm not really for the trophy hunting thing, but if you're going to eat the animal and use the animal and kill it humanely, I'm okay with that.
I had a moment with a deer many years ago.
Yeah.
And I was walking down a road, really like a narrow, almost like an alley. And a deer came out of the woods, probably 15 feet in front of me, and just stopped and stared at me.
Whoa.
It felt like eternity that we were staring at each other.
Yeah.
It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And it just took off. So I'm a softie maybe, but I could not shoot it.
Listen, I hear you. I don't know that I could do it personally.
Yeah.
But I'm saying,
But for survival, absolutely.
I eat meat,
So
I would be ridiculous to say that I'm against hunting for food. Yeah.
I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Are you against hunting as a sport?
If you're just trophy hunting to put the head up on your wall, yes.
Okay. Here's what I'm against. Calling hunting a sport. Yeah. And I'll tell you why.
That's a sport.
Let me tell you why it isn't, Paul.
Bow and arrow?
Name another sport where both teams don't know they're in the fucking game. Tell me a sport.
Good point.
Tell me a sport where the guy that gets the point scored against him goes, "The fuck is going on here? You just threw a football at me. Am I supposed to catch it?" Like, come on. How can you call anything a sport where the other team doesn't know it's not in the game?
Well, it's certainly a skill.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Fine. Yeah. Here's your skill.
Yeah.
You can kill a defenseless animal. That's it. There's your fucking skill.
I wouldn't call
You can shoot a bullet that goes at almost the speed of light to an object that doesn't know you're there. And you're fucking 300 yards away.
Paul brought up, like bow hunting. There's definitely a skill to hitting a moving animal.
No question about it. Yeah. There's a skill to that.
Sure.
But imagine this. You don't have a fucking arrow. And you come across the fucking lion or whatever you're shooting in the jungle.
Fists.
You got to go fucking man up.
There you go.
What's your skill then? You don't have any skill. The only skill you have is to use a weapon from a distance.
You can build traps. You can build traps for an
animal.
Do
that, I have no problems.
Yeah.
Trap the animal. Okay, but here's the other thing. You don't get to fucking put
like quick kill traps.
Yeah, but you don't get to put deer pussy on a tree, and then when the buck comes up to smell it, you shoot it with an arrow from 60 yards or whatever.
You build one of those old school holes in the ground with the spikes sticking up.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I'm all for that. I just don't tell me it's a sport when the guy you're shooting at is fucking taking a piss.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's my argument.
Yeah.
Take it from there.
Makes sense. Yeah.
I could not, if my kids were starving, I could kill any animal on the planet to feed them. Yeah. If I was walking out in the woods and saw an animal, there's not a thing in the world that can make me kill it.
What do you think about fishing? Is fishing a sport?
That is a skill. Well, I will say this. Name me a time. I'm not for this. Catching a fish, sending it to a taxidermist, and throwing it on your wall. Catching any fish, keeping it, and eating it, I'm all for it.
But catching a fish and reeling it in are two different things.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
4 days ago, I was at my buddy's house in Virginia, lives on the water, went out with they're big fishermen. And this is what they do from the time we were kids. They know everything. I don't fish that much.
Right.
And when I have fished, it's been with them.
Yeah.
So we were out there in the Atlantic, we're standing, in the water, and they're catching stuff, reeling it in. I got one. I was so excited.
Of course,
I'm reeling it in, and I could almost hear them going, "Take it easy, just let them
run.
Let them run side to side, tire them out." And I'm trying to reel it in, and I reeled it in too much, and it got away.
You broke the line?
Yeah. No, it just
got away.
It came off the hook.
Oh.
But to them, that would have never happened. They know how to reel it in.
Yeah.
Gracefully kind of let it kind of do its thing. I didn't know that. I mean, it was fun. Still had a great time, but yeah.
It's a great skill
That's
to have,
a skill.
man.
That's absolutely. You got to know
hunting and fishing.
You got to know lures and what certain fish go for specific lures, and pretty cool.
Yeah.
And like you said, in technique.
Absolutely.
Listen,
fly fishing, that's a cool.
I also want to say to the hunters this. I kind of understand your addiction to it, right? It is a skill.
Thrill of the chase.
Yeah. And in most hunters, that I know, or I don't know the right word, where they use most of all the shit they kill, right? They sell the skin and they eat the meat or whatever. Yeah. I don't have any issue with that.
Sure.
I really don't. No different than going to the grocery store. You cut out the fucking middleman is all you did.
Exactly.
Sure,
right?
Yeah.
And you probably killed the animal with a little more dignity than the way they did it.
Possibly.
So I'm for that. But a guy that goes out and shoots a deer and it's a 15-point buck, like a stallion in the world of nature, and all you did with that animal is put his fucking head on your wall. When I hope one day somebody does that to you. Just cut your head off and sticks it on a wall.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of trophy hunting.
Because that's cool. Just think about it. It's an asinine hobby. And I have very close dear friends that are avid hunters, and I'm not a phony person. And I tell them, hey, man, if you eat it and shit, if you hang it on your wall, I'm not going in that room. Or if I do, I'm going to make fun of you. Did you ever see the movie Arthur?
Oh, yeah,
Dudley Moore?
Yeah.
One of the greatest lines in movie history when he walks into his future wife's father, right? And he goes, excuse me, what did this deer ever do to you? It's the greatest line ever. Yeah. What did this moose do to you?
Right,
just big, huge moose head on his wall. What did this moose do to you? It's so fucking funny. Right? I mean, isn't that really the way you look at it, buddy? I do. I don't know how you feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, there are people who probably shot the animal, brought it home, made steaks and deer jerky or whatever they do, and then put the head on the wall.
You know what?
I find it a little creepy, but, to each their own.
Hey, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to check Rumble real quick, see how they're reacting to that statement.
No. You probably upset a lot of hunters and fishermen.
I'm all for it.
It's not a sport.
One of the greatest things that my son and I do together is fishing. My youngest,
awesome.
He's a great fisherman. He's been doing it since he's 6 years old.
Wow.
I love fishing.
Mm-hmm.
I've never taken a fish home, and I've never released one dead.
You ever caught a fish?
And this is no lie, and I'll let him answer this. Yeah. At the Conowingo Dam, him and I caught 74 shad in about over 2 days, in a total of about 5.5 hours.
Damn. Wow.
It was unbelievable. And it was probably the thing that I think instilled the fishing bug in him for the rest of his life.
Yeah,
wow.
Absolutely.
When you take that line and throw it in and you feel that nibble and then you know you have it, then you have to gracefully bring that thing in. Yeah. You get it in, you take that hook out gently and you set it back in the water. Is it nice for the fish? Probably not. Yeah. But we're humans. Every other animal fucks with every other animal, pretty much.
I always wondered about that because a lot of people do that. They do catch and release. And I'm like,
that's all I do.
Doesn't hurt an animal. You could put
it does. I'm not going to be phony. Of course it does.
Yeah.
But I can live with that. I can live with it. I can live with that.
Why can you live with that?
Because I'm not killing it.
But if somebody put a hook through your mouth, Mick.
That was just last week. There's my buddy.
Oh, my God.
They got it.
That's incredible.
Sorry, probably shouldn't be
showing fishing pictures.
Sorry.
Yeah,
it's all good.
It was this big.
Yeah, exactly, man. It's so true.
I swear.
Yeah. By the way, we might be lucky here on Rumble. If I'm on the right one. Whole bunch of. Here we go. Somebody. Oh no, listen to this. I agree with Mickey about hunting. Oh wow, this is crazy. Mickey, you're way too deep in the matrix. Get out.
So do you have people that comment on the program?
Yeah, so we're on a bunch of different platforms streaming right now.
Okay.
And then later we'll be on all the podcast platforms. So, yeah.
Hey, I thought of something we should start saying. You know how we call all those shows conspiracy theory shows? I have a new name for those shows. They're not conspiracy theories. They're facts that you don't find out till later. Shows.
A lot of them.
Am I right?
That's true, though.
I mean, I haven't heard them all, so I'm not going to.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not going to say you're
like
right.
The ones we're kind of dicking with.
But there have been a couple that years ago you would have thought somebody was nuts if they said.
Yeah.
And then now it's like, oh, yeah. I mean, it was mainstream news.
Matt, if we started a show on Rumble, Paul, you want to join us? Here's how we market it. What's your show about? Is it conspiracy theories? No, there's no conspiracy. These are facts that you won't be able to prove till 4 years from now. Yeah. Enjoy the show, everyone. We'll be back in 48 months to claim our title.
Yeah.
Like, why? There's a lot of things that happen. Why question anything?
I'm with you.
It's, UFOs. I believe that.
I know. We said
that everything
that's back in the 80s, Paul. If you would have told somebody a UFO story, you would have thought they were just bonkers, right?
Where are you at on Bigfoot? Yay or nay, or maybe?
Haven't seen him in a while.
Yay, nay, or maybe? Bigfoot. Yay, nay, maybe.
I'm going to go with yay because why not?
I don't want to get my new favorite guest.
I mean, think about it.
UFOs, Bigfoot. You got one, Matt? What's one you need his opinion on?
Let me think about it.
Who shot JFK? Who shot the press?
God, I don't know if anybody knows that.
I think I do.
There's all the grassy knoll theory.
Yeah, like you think it was that one guy and only him.
Don't know.
I do. I know it.
But that was something that actually happened.
Yeah.
And there's footage of it.
Yeah.
So you gotta, I don't know. but how about when you saw on TV for the first time, when you saw him get taken away in custody, and Jack Ruby ran up to him with a gun and shot him.
Yeah.
You saw that on live TV.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was unbelievable. And that's something that sticks in your brain.
Yeah.
You don't forget that.
You ever hear the Dennis Leary bit about it goes real quick, Matt. He goes, I heard a friend of mine say the other day, he's like, Americans are all addicted to TV. Oh, really? Really? Or is that what it is? Let me explain something. We're sitting there on a fucking Sunday one day watching the news because the president got shot and a fucking guy walks up and shoots Lee Harvey Oswald. We haven't moved from the TV since.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to happen?
That was amazing. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, we're not going down this road, but it is like, Paul, I mean, dude, you could think anything you wanted. Bigfoot, UFOs, and that's enough.
Yeah. I mean, not that Bigfoot's been squashed yet. Nobody's really.
I see what you did there. Hasn't been squashed yet.
There you go. He's a comedian too.
You are so punny. So punny. We got any more news, buddy?
That is the facts, Matt.
Let's go right into it. It is time for Matt's Music Minute. Much smaller segment, Paul. Matt's Music Minute brought to us by Natalie's Seafood.
I'm kidding.
Brought to us by Natalie's Seafood. I'm grabbing their schedule right now. They are bringing us Matt Music Minute. What's today's date? I apologize. It is the 12th. Tonight at Natalie's, it is Cool Change. Tomorrow, Light Up the Moon. Dear Zoe on Saturday. Dear Zoe. And then Great Train Robbery Sunday at Natalie's. So get to Natalie's Seafood Market, our seafood kitchen, 2315 Bel Air Road, right in the heart of Falston. Here it is, Matt's Music Minute.
Yeah, so the Rolling Stones are back in the studio. They've reportedly been recording a new album at Metropolis Studios in West London since April. The Sun reports they have laid down 13 songs and are in discussions over a release date for their 25th studio album. Originally, the plan was for them to bring their huge U.S. tour and to the UK and Europe this summer, but promoters couldn't get the dates to work. Instead, the Stones decided to get back in the studio and lay down their next album. Mick Jagger was saying that the band recorded over 20 songs during their sessions for Hackney Diamonds, their last album, with 12 of those making the album. So some of those extra tracks include contributions from their former bass player Bill Wyman, as well as Paul McCartney, both who have played on Hackney Diamonds. So.
Wow. Hey, we had a couple of guests on our album. Oh, yeah? Who was it? Paul McCartney and Bill Wyman. Yeah. By the way, perfect time. Your top 3 favorite bands of all time. I asked you that question So you've had time to
Top.
think.
That's easy. I don't even have time
Go
to
ahead.
think. In order?
Well,
Or just
however,
top three?
number 3.
Ooh. All right, I'm gonna do it. I shouldn't. I'll get.
Just say it.
It's an impossible question, we realize, but
Order doesn't matter.
I'll go with the Dead.
Grateful Dead, number 3.
Wow.
Number 2.
Beatles.
Wow. Then I got to know this. Number 1.
Rush.
wow,
Holy
yeah.
fuck.
Now, but that's a backlog of.
No, I understand.
There's a lot. The Beatles are just ingrained in my being.
Anyone with real musical knowledge, it has to
Okay, but Rush, I just can't explain it. If you either
be. Here's my top 3. The Beatles, Led Zeppelin, the Rolling Stones.
see, and absolutely, if you said 5, 6, I mean,
Oh my God. I mean, Beatles and Zeppelin for sure.
Yeah.
And I'd probably say Metallica.
see,
Okay, fair
they're
enough.
up there for me too.
Yeah.
I don't see how Metallica makes anybody's
Right.
top 5, but that's just my
Oh,
opinion.
But
put
it's all
Metallica-
it's all different energy though too.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
but
It's who you are.
But to me, Rush from every album. I mean, I remember my brother playing Farewell to Kings in 1978, and I was just blown away. And then when I saw them, the first time I saw them, I saw every tour after that. Sometimes two times. Went out to Red Rocks to see them, but met them several times. It's
so
but
that
every record was like a part of my timeline
Yeah,
growing
that
up.
makes sense.
I love it.
I remembered with every record they put out, I could tell you what I was doing, what friends I was
All
hanging
right,
out
so
with.
let me ask you this
you know?
question. Obviously, leads to the next logical question.
Yeah.
With Rush being your number 1, how old were you when you finally touched a woman?
Live or yeah.
Here,
kidding.
I got a real question for you, Paul. So if money was no object, and I'm talking about current bands, if you
Yep.
could put together the ultimate
me
3-band
and my
bill,
son.
bill band for you
Damn.
that you would like to go see,
Me and my son
money
did
was
the
no
same
object,
question.
what would the 3 bands be?
Again, just completely different vibes.
Yeah.
But I like all sorts of music.
Right.
I'd have to put the Dead up there because there's just nothing like it.
Yeah,
There's
get
just and some people don't understand the Dead, and that's fine. I just side note saw them at the Sphere in Vegas.
Was it
Oh,
amazing?
wow.
You guys need to go out there.
Oh, we talked
we were
about
just
it
talking about
yesterday.
that yesterday. Yeah.
You talk about pushing the envelope, audio, video. You've never.
I
It's
mean, olfactory
un-
senses. I mean, every
un-
sense is
I'm
stimulated
telling you,
at this place.
they've pushed it. I can't imagine how video can get any better. And the audio everywhere that you walked sounded perfect. Let's face it. You go into a venue or a stadium, there's parts that you're kind of like it's too
course.
bassy or it's this or
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
or you walk in different areas and it sounds different. Everywhere you walked sounded perfect. They have like 180,000 speakers, like direct.
It's incredible.
I'm telling you. And the video, you're you've just never seen anything like
Yeah,
How
it.
many
It's-
people?
we
How
were-
many people does that thing hold? I'm sorry.
I don't. It's like 17,000
Yeah,
or something.
close.
Okay, imagine
Close.
being somewhere with the most visceral sensory overload, and everyone in the show, the Dead, is as high as they can fucking be. You combine all
It's
that
amazing.
together.
Well,
Yeah.
Paul mentioned that the sound, of course, is outstanding. The video is outstanding, but they also, infuse scent and feeling. So, like if they,
Yeah.
we're talking about the Wizard of Oz yesterday.
Yep,
They're showing that there.
yep.
So you're going to feel the tornado as it comes in. You're
And-
going to smell the flowers, the poppies when
Yeah.
she
There-
lands there.
There were parts where there was like moved, like you were moving.
Yeah.
It had like an aerial view of a city. It was pretty wild. It started out with like the Google Earth view from
Oh, wow.
from the United States.
Yeah.
And during the song, it just started focusing in, went to the West Coast, went to California, went to San Francisco, and you're on this ride watching this when the band's just on.
I'm out
And
of my mind at
it
that
went
point.
all the way, literally, it focused to San Francisco,
Wow.
dialed in to literally went to the
Kate Ashbury. Yeah.
it went to the house that they were jamming, where they
Yeah.
grew up and would
That
practice
is
in.
so cool.
And it literally went to the window and it showed silhouettes of them playing.
Wow.
You've just,
Mind-blowing.
I'm telling you, you've never seen or heard
That's
or
amazing.
felt a feeling. It's the best.
That's
They
incredible.
did it. So they're talking about doing like 5 more across the states, but smaller,
Yeah.
like more in the 5,000 range, 5,000 capacity.
Got to get your hand into that, Paul.
Can you
Manna.
imagine? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'd say the Dead would be one. Then you gotta
You got to put 2 other bands on your bill.
So I'd have to go.
Are you a Fish
I'd have
fan?
to go. Not as much as you'd think. Not really as much. I'd probably have to go with Tool. Put Tool in there.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you like a lot of technical musical shit. Yeah.
But I like a lot of heavier stuff, but also the jammy. I mean, the Dead, for example.
Yeah.
That's
so one more band. You got Tool. You got the Dead. Who else would you put on that bill? The ultimate show for you.
This is me and my son do this all the time. When Paul's done,
current, right? Sorry.
Anytime in the
I mean, band
now.
Current bands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Talk about the Dead.
Yeah, mine's going to be ridiculous because it's all over the place.
I'd probably say, and you may laugh, and I'm okay with that. I'd probably say The Cure.
Wow, is that right?
I love
That's awesome, man.
I can't even. I want to laugh. I'm so shocked that I can't. No, I'm kidding.
It's all good.
I'm kidding. Yeah. No, I get it. Here, what would your three be, Matt?
I mean, once again, this is all over the place.
So we know Metallica's on it.
Metallica would be on it for sure, even though they're a band that I've seen.
Sure, I get it
30 times before.
Well, there's a reason for that.
Yeah. So they would be on it. I would probably put Rage Against the Machine on the bill.
See, but they're not current though.
Well, you're right. They're not.
Just,
but I don't think they're completely finished. They've done shows. You could potentially still get.
I think we can allow that one.
Go ahead.
And then this is another one that is kind of on again, off again, and it would be ridiculous to put them on the same bill. But the Black Crowes,
nice.
I love them.
Man, what a great show that. Here it would be mine if it's active. I would say my bill would be AC/DC.
Nice. Yeah.
I forgot. How did I forget about AC/DC?
Because you're a fucking idiot. AC/DC.
Yeah.
It's
tough. It's hard, man.
Number two would be. I just died. Fuck. So I have AC.
Who are you gonna say?
Prince. Number two. So I got AC/DC. Then I would probably go. I'm not gonna lie. I would go the Stones.
Nice.
I could watch Mick Jagger at 80 years old.
Yeah,
He's better
phenomenal.
than most 30 years old.
Yeah.
So the AC/DC, them.
You're that big of a fan of their music?
The Rolling Stones?
Yeah.
Dude, It's Only Rock and Roll, to me, is one of the greatest combinations of rock, soul,
incredibly
R&B.
worthy. I wasn't surprised.
Yes,
R&B,
I'm a
it's just-
huge
I just didn't know you were that
Rolling
big of a
Stones
fan.
fan.
Yeah.
Huge.
Okay.
Not quite as much as Colleen Carew. God bless her.
Right.
She deserves it. But I am a massive Stones fan.
Yep.
So AC/DC, the Stones. And then I'm going to probably, I guess my third choice, if I'm really honest, and you'll all laugh at me, is Green Day.
That's right. Dude, they're phenomenal.
cool.
live.
I've seen them 3 times. I saw them at the 8x10, by the way.
Oh gosh, here we go.
I did. Right before it came out.
Did you though?
Yeah. And it was one of the sickest things I've ever seen in my life. 3 little young dudes that produced so much fucking noise that sounded incredible. I'd never seen a punk rock band that was that tight, that good, and harmonies were perfect.
And that young.
And it was unbelievable sensory overload.
Yeah.
So I think that would be my show. It would open with Green Day.
God, I forgot about Iron Maiden too, man. I'm a huge Maiden
so
fan.
I like them,
Yeah.
but
Now-
I can't put two. I can't.
They're up that top 10 for sure.
Yeah.
So you would have loved, Matt, you would have loved this festival that I went to. Do you remember hearing about Power Trip?
Oh yeah.
So I went out to that. Amazing.
Nice.
3 nights, 2 headliners per night. They did full sets. Friday night was Guns N' Roses, AC/DC. Saturday night, Iron Maiden.
I remember this lineup. It was ridiculous.
Ozzy bagged. Who took
I
their
forgot.
spot.
How could I forget about Ozzy?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Was it Godsmack?
No, I should remember this.
Jeez.
Ozzy was supposed to be on the bill and pulled
Yeah.
off, so they got Judas Priest.
Oh wow.
Priest.
Yeah.
And then Sunday night, this was amazing. The Sunday night, Tool, Metallica,
Yeah, I remember that.
and
Amazing.
it was held on the grounds where Coachella's held.
Yeah.
Beautiful turf. I mean, it was amazing.
That's incredible,
That was a
man.
great weekend.
Yeah.
That's fucking bad.
Those are six like, iconic
Hey,
bands.
what did you? Were you surprised at the turnout of the Boardwalk Rock?
Blown away, but
Fucking believable.
Yeah.
By the way, Paul, I'm going to tell you this. 80s rock is fucking back, meaning the audience that is reacting to those bands.
I agree.
You know why? There's nothing else anymore.
Agree.
It's the last great party rock time in music history.
Yep.
But it's coming back around. I'm gonna give you. Here's a band you got to book. I'm not kidding you.
All right.
They're called the Band Feel.
Really,
dude?
Seriously?
I'll say
they're called the Band Feel.
Correct.
Huh.
And another band called Red Clay Strays.
Oh yeah,
you know them?
Yeah, but they're not in that rock world.
It's okay.
They're more.
Do you only produce rock?
They're more Americana.
I think they're more. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, it's country. It's all that shit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're big now. Yeah.
6 months ago, I joined their. Followed them. They had 38,000 fans.
6 months ago. That's
6 months ago.
Now what?
They're now opening for the Stones on this tour.
There you go.
The guy, look them up.
It happens quick. Yeah.
The Band Feel too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Unfucking believable.
Yeah.
So the Songwriters Hall of Fame induction ceremony is tonight. It's the 54th Songwriters Hall of Fame at the an awards gala set for tonight at the Marriott Marquis Hotel. Inductees are Doobie Brothers members Tom Johnson and Michael McDonald and Patrick Simmons. Last week, the Doobie Brothers released Walk This Road, their first studio album in 4 years. And the first since 1980s, one step closer to include McDonald. Other inductees include Parliament Funkadelic mastermind George Clinton and Mike Love of the Beach Boys.
I don't have one issue with that Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction thing I just heard.
Songwriters.
I'm sorry, songwriters. I have none.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike Love might be a little weak because Brian Wilson wrote all the great shit. Brian Wilson wrote it all.
Yeah, he was phenomenal.
Mike Love wrote some great songs. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, he's getting in for being a Beach Boy, I think.
Yeah.
And most of that's Brian Wilson.
Well, I'm sure he wrote a lot of their bigger songs too.
I don't know. I mean,
he wouldn't be inducted if he didn't.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. I just like talking.
Clueless, dude.
Let's talk about the Mariah Carey Eminem feud.
Ooh.
You guys know about that?
No. Was she having problems with Em? Em's my boy, by the way. I love Eminem.
Like, didn't he wanted her to be in his movie years ago or
something like that? Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So legend has it in the early 2000s, Eminem and Mariah Carey were hooking up until something went wrong. The ensuing feud resulted in some diss tracks by Eminem and even a response by Mariah in the form of her 2000 song Obsessed. And now a producer named Damian Young has revealed that the insults may have destroyed their relationship. It was when Eminem asked Mariah to appear in his movie 8 Mile as his mother.
That was it. Yeah.
Mariah's only 4 years older than Eminem.
I get it.
Young says, quote, she did not like that stuff at all. Her insecurities kicked in big time. Kim Basinger ended up playing Eminem's mom, which made a lot more sense. She's 19 years older.
Yeah, listen, those kind of feuds, I can't even take them serious. Like, really? That's why you two hate each other? Because one of you got a huge break and got a movie, and he reached out and said, hey, I would love for you to play this part. And she said, I'm too good for that. That story just dies on its
all
premise.
Speculation.
Yeah, of course.
But you know what the worst part is? We're talking about that.
That's
the worst part. Okay.
That's why I'm making it clear how absurd it is. Yeah. And I'm actually happy talking about it. That's the funny part.
All right. You guys know what Jack White and Jack Black make, right?
What they make?
Yeah. Jack Gray. Jack White of the White Stripes and Jack Black collaborated a few years ago for Jack Gray, a Tenacious D single produced by Jack White, recorded at Third Man Records in Nashville. Now they've been brought together again by a letter that arrived at the record company. Jack White posted a letter on Instagram addressed to Jack Black that showed up in Third Man Records mail. White wrote in the caption, we received this letter to Jack Black at Third Man Records recently. I'm guessing somebody got their wires crossed. I'm debating what I should do. Any ideas? The envelope included a Star Wars trading card with Jack Black on it and a letter that said, I'm a big fan and an avid autograph collector. Your roles in School of Rock, Nacho Libre, Jumanji, and most importantly, how you dominated playing the saxoboom are all reasons I look up to you. He was hoping for an autograph on the Star Wars card.
That's good.
Wow. Yeah. That's I love both of those guys, by the way. Yeah. Jack Black, by the way, has Jack White has one of the greatest quotes I've ever heard. Somebody said, how do you feel about Led Zeppelin? And he said, they're the greatest band that ever lived. And he said, really, you're that strong? He said, I'll go one step further. I can't be friends with someone unless they love Led Zeppelin.
There you go. Yeah.
I can't respect them.
You a Zeppelin fan, Paul?
Come on. Dude.
Are you are you a massive Zeppelin fan?
Not really. I mean,
Really?
I mean,
Oh, he's wearing the
I don't-
fucking shirt. I'm a goddamn idiot.
But
I'm
honestly,
looking right fucking at you.
exactly.
Oh my God.
Have you ever met anyone that said no?
I have. Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah.
My daughter.
Well, that doesn't
Well,
count. I
you know?
always say anybody over
Who has
25.
great music taste, by the way. It was amazing
Yeah,
music
I
taste.
get
but
it.
She's just not into it.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
But I will say this. Anybody over the age of 25 that says I can't put Led Zeppelin at least in my top 10,
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't respect another thing you say.
Yeah.
I don't. I just musically. I mean, I don't think you're a bad person. I probably wouldn't eat
They
dinner.
probably are bad.
I probably agree with you, but I'm not going to say it publicly, Matt.
I saw 2/4 of them.
Did you?
I did too.
Live Aid in '85 in Philly.
Wow.
So it was Plant and Page. And then
And
Well,
Phil Collins.
it was.
Yeah,
That was when he did that trance.
Yeah, and who played bass? Fuck.
Yeah.
Can't think of the guy's
Forget.
name. Anyway,
Yeah.
Phil Collins played with Genesis in London,
and then flew.
got on a plane and flew to America and
Yeah.
played with Zeppelin.
I love Phil.
And
man.
it was awful.
I should have said Phil Collins too, man. I love Phil Collins.
You should have said him for what?
Huge for one of my top bands.
Really?
Phil
Love-
Collins.
Love Phil.
Phil
I do
Collins
too.
or Genesis or both?
Mostly Phil Collins solo.
Wow. Okay.
How about Springsteen?
Not at all.
Love him.
I love him. I think he's a fucking unbelievable. I hate him as a person. Hate him.
Love him.
No, I mean, I think everything he's done, the
You hate his politics.
yeah.
right?
Oh, and the fact that he can't shut the fuck up about it.
Yeah.
Like same with De Niro. He was my favorite actor. And I don't even disagree all the way with the shit he says. I just think he's a fucking asshole. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? That half of your audience
Yeah. Well.
doesn't agree with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not a smart move.
It's not. But
Ever.
goddamn
For,
it,
what?
for anybody.
Springsteen.
Right, but maybe he doesn't care. He's got a.
Why-
he's,
why would you?
he's got
half
a
of-
platform, and
Yeah,
he's
I
going to
agree.
speak his mind.
Yeah.
You know.
But don't get mad at
But
the
what is
people.
your end game for that? Like, what do you want to get out of that? People that agree with you to agree with you, and the people that don't.
Maybe just enlightenment. You know, from someone that you admire. You know what I mean?
In comedy, they say if you can make just one person laugh,
Right.
you're in the wrong fucking business. You know what I mean? You got to make everybody laugh.
Yeah.
The point I'm making is if you're Springsteen and you're regarded as one of the greatest lyricists that ever lived, the guy is a poetic fucking master.
He's absolutely.
Okay. We love you, Bruce. And your whole career was built on being, I'm a working man, everybody, you know.
Back in my days.
By the way, I've never met a man that sounds like he's taking a shit 24 hours a day, right? But that's the thing. He'll say things like, I'm for the working man and out there trying to feed your family. And
When I was growing up in Jersey,
yeah.
I had to make $5, so I worked at the old mill back then.
Yeah, and all those guys that work at the old mill, all those guys that did everything he ever sang and talked about, don't agree with him politically.
Yeah.
So that makes everyone that ever was a huge fan look at him and go, what a fucking hypocrite you are.
I think there was like a month in
Same with Howard Stern.
1984 when that album came out, Born in the USA, that I liked him, but I can't.
Dude,
I
Born to Run?
Now, I probably would love him live. I bet I would love the
So
live
good.
show.
Great
How about
live.
the
song?
I would never put that music onto my car.
Born to Run. The song. All right.
I don't love it.
Oh my God. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I respect you enough to go, I get it. Like, that just blows my mind that you wouldn't consider that a masterpiece.
I've never cranked that up in the car.
Oh my God.
He's got some anthems.
I'll tell you what, do you listen to words? Like, do you like good stories, or is it more melodic and the music for you?
It's both.
Then read some Springsteen lyrics.
No, it's
Yeah,
deep.
listen, I that whole entire band is incredibly talented.
It's
Do
ridiculous.
you like solo acoustic stuff, like raw stuff?
Sure.
You should check out Nebraska by Springsteen.
Yeah.
You like that album?
I love it.
It's amazing as a songwriter goes.
Some of it's like chilling.
Yeah.
Just him and a guitar. That bit's raw emotion. Great lyrics. Yeah.
Wow. I'm just checking the chat room.
Ooh.
Still active. People have been amazing.
Let's thank all of our Rumble fans who have donated to us yesterday and today. We are in the process of figuring out how we can watch the donations during the show. I think we're going to have that taken care of by next week. But
Yeah.
thank you, and we appreciate you.
Yeah, I don't know how to tell when we're doing the show, but it's been they can tip us during the show, Paul. And we get done and we look and we go, what the fuck? Like,
wow.
Thank you.
That's great.
It's unreal. So, yeah, it's been wild. Anything else in music, Matt?
That's it for Matt's Music Minute.
Paul, I want to give you an award that we have never given out. And I'm not making this up, and Matt will agree with me. You are part of the longest Mickey and Matt show that we've ever done.
Really?
This is the longest running one, I believe.
Is that right?
I don't know a show that was longer. It's 10.
That doesn't mean most boring, does it?
What time did we start? 10 up. It's not even a top. Like, you're in one right now. I'm telling you, as far as us doing the show, this is absolutely one of my favorite shows.
Yeah, it's been great.
It's unbelievable.
I appreciate it, man.
I mean, nobody watched
hanging out
it,
with you guys. We've known each other forever. I'll see you in passing. It's tough. It's tough to like hang out with people as much as you'd like to. It's always in passing. I have to make more of an effort.
Go to lunch, man.
I'm telling you.
Let's go to lunch.
Seriously, I know. Easier said than done.
If you guys know what I'm working on right now, it is literally the answer to the thing you're talking about right now.
Seriously.
I'll tell you off air because I can't tell you on air, and you're about to fall in love with an idea. Matt, anything you want to add tonight?
Just subscribe to the new YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/@MickeyTalksPod.
And I'll tell you what, the number to our show here, of course, is 443-626-7111. The first person that texts us, I'm in, to that number, 443-626-7111, you win 2 tickets to the Trifecta Food and Music Festival, which is taking place on September 20th at the Maryland State Fairgrounds. First person to text that in, I'm in, and then follow it up with your name, you will have 2 tickets.
Yeah, it's happening on September 20th at the Maryland State Fairgrounds. Almost Queen, which is the most incredible.
Amazing.
I mean, just
Queen's
it's
up there
like
for me.
Queen's my number 4.
You said 3, and I couldn't.
Queen's my number 4, and in a lot of arguments, it's my number 1.
Unreal.
So then you've got Allman Brothers.
Guess who won?
Who's that?
Drea. I'm giving her tickets. She doesn't even count. The next person that I'll give Drea tickets. Next person that calls in or texts us, I'm in, 443-626-7111.
Yeah, Drea's with us every day and deserves those tickets.
Cool.
We'll give away a prize.
Yeah, give her a pair of tickets.
You got it,
Unforgettable
brother.
Fire, a tribute to U2.
Amazing.
Kelly Bell Band. Petticoat Junction, tribute to Tom Petty. Psycho Killers, tribute to Talking Heads.
They're all so good.
The Regal Beagles, Yacht Rock. Never is going to be there.
With Ronnie.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Ronnie hadn't played with them in years.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
The Players Band, that's Jamaican ska and reggae. Social Drinking, 80s, 90s rock. Morgan Tripp Band, Southern rock. Stages Music Artist, which is a student band out there.
Yeah, so, I always do one of those.
Yep.
So, real quick, Matt, before the show ends, having said that, we brought up Andrea, by the way. We call her Drea. I call her Drea to you all the time. Andrea. We brought her name up, and I just we've done this once or twice. But Paul, as you were building your career, were there people that never really made any money, just supported you in a way that you could never have ever imagined that they would help you? Whether it was, hey, Paul, I just wanted to let you know this, or hey, Paul, I'm going to help you hand out flyers, or right?
It's countless.
This girl is the number one person.
I love that.
I don't care if I'm the next, me and Matt are the next Joe Rogan. She will run. If I have a fan club, whatever it is, she's the best. Awesome. And I want to give her her due.
Of course. Thank you.
If she wants to come out to any record show,
listen to this.
She's got a free pair of tickets.
That's my boy, Paul Manna. That's how the show ends. That's how the show ends.
There's a lot of people that just love the music and love the scene, and they want to do what, just because they love it.
Yeah.
And, they don't ask for stuff. They just love what they do.
Is every show that goes in the record yours?
Not every show, but most of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
90%.
Know this, if you've enjoyed Paul Manna and you want to show him support, 99% of the shows at the record are his.
Yeah.
If you see something you like, buy some tickets and go. Paul Manna, what a treat. I hope this isn't the only appearance you make on this show. I would love to have you back on a regular basis. And what a treat to catch up and tell the story with a lifelong friend, man.
Go check out the 24/7 Entertainment website. It's 24-7.
It's actually 24-7booking.com.
Booking.com.
We can I'll post that.
And there's like upcoming shows and stuff like that.
Paul Manna, what a treat. Matt Davis, the best partner a guy could ask for. And for me, you know what the fuck I am. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 5 live from Natalie's. See you, everybody. Thank you. Bye.
All right.